Hi everyone, I am Natasja. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Today I will be doing a pick a card reading. What is your reason for being here? What is your soul mission? Why are you here? Why have you incarnated here? What is the reason for you being in this life, in this time? Now, if you enjoy these readings, please consider a donation. You can also help me and my channel by clicking any of these buttons down below. Share, like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Now let's get into the choices. I prepared 4 decks for you. You can see them up here. And I will also give you a good look at the crystals that I used for these options. You can use the timestamps to go to the reading of your choice. The first option is this purple Andara for the Shadowscapes tarot deck. The second choice is this blue Andara for the Tarot of Dreams. The third option is this green Andara for the Ethereal Visions tarot deck. And the fourth option is this yellow Andara for the Marchetti tarot deck. Now let's get started. Hi there, you chose this purple Andara and the Shadowscapes tarot deck. So let's begin with your reading. And see what we have here. The reason why. The first card is the King of Swords. Where you are now is the Death card. Where you are moving is the Tower card. And the obstacle or challenge is the Fool. This is a very strong, deep and profound message. What you came to do is the High Priestess. How to do it, or how you are doing it, is the Two of Pentacles. And the outcome or result is the Three of Pentacles. Now this is a very, very heavy message. First off, the reason why you are here is you are learning about tactics, about options, about deliberate use of your circumstances and assets to get to where you want to be. I always compare this card to the man who is playing chess. He is always calculating his options. He's being tactical, he's being resourceful, and using all options to his advantage. So you are most likely equipped with all sorts of gifts and talents. I have readings about that in my playlist, so check them out if you want to know more about that. And what you are here, why you are here, is to learn how to use them to their fullest extent. How you can deploy all of your talents and assets in order to get where you are, because you will only get there if you do use everything that you have. Now, you are at this moment in a very transformational period. I will take these 2 cards together, where you are now and where you are going. So you are at this point in an extremely heavy transformational period or situation. Everything that you held true is falling away from you. Everything that you depended on is falling away from you. The life that you used to live is falling away from you. You are like a butterfly, like the caterpillar who is, how do you call that? Chrysalis? I'm not sure. But they turn themselves into a butterfly. Before that, they are in a stage where they completely dissolve. Everything about them dissolves. The caterpillar ceases to exist. And from the materials in there, a butterfly is being built. Now, this is the stage that you are in. A very strong personal transformation within your character, within your values, within how you look at life and the people in it. And also a very strong transformation in the structures that you've built. Most likely you've came to an insight or a realization that shook your entire world view, your entire view of yourself as well as your outlook on the world. So you are at this point in a very rocky period. In another circumstance, because this is still a general reading, this could also point to a physical death nearby within your circle of friends or family. And this is a very devastating period for you in any way. Whatever situation is on your path right now, this is a very devastating situation, and I really want to share my sympathy with you for this situation, and I really hope I can help you get through this with this reading. It is something that needs time to pass. This is such a heavy energy. But you know, it always makes room for new things. And that is exactly what the next card is telling us. It is the challenge. This is the challenge that you are up to. It is the Fool. The Fool is about new beginnings, a new initiative. You can compare it to an unborn child. It is about to go into the world, and there it can go any direction. I also usually call it the wild card. It can go any way. But as of now, you're still in this transformational situation. Your challenge is to get through that, and being able to get yourself out that heavy, almost destructive energy into this realization that it makes room for new things. And I've been through heavy situations myself with a lot of transformations as well. And I know how heavy and hard this is, how difficult this is. But if you allow these feelings, I must go back to these two cards. If you allow these feelings to exist and to realize that they're there, to acknowledge them, and say to yourself, yeah, I am suffering right now. I am very grieved. I am very lost. I am unsure of what's happening here. Everything is falling away. Acknowledge it and allow these feelings to be there. Eventually, this is how you process feelings. And eventually, the air will clear. And the sky will clear up and turn blue again, and the sun might shine. And you will see new room for new initiatives, new opportunities, and new ways of living your life. Now, what you came to do is the High Priestess. Because of this card, the situation that you are in now is inevitable. Every High Priestess has this situation in their life at some point, because it is the initiation. You need that experience to be able to access these powers. The power of sending out your feelers into the unknown and get that information out of there. It is a very intuitive way of obtaining information. But you need that transformational period, because only once you are not sure of anything in your life, you will use this talent. Otherwise, you will always try to find things in the world outside you that will confirm where you are and who you are. And once these things all fall away, then you will have to resort within. You will have no choice. And that is why you are going through this heavy period right now, to unlock these intuitive powers within you. You may not see it right now, you may not believe it, or maybe you are a little further on this path already and you do understand that these experiences bring you closer to your deeper core, your soul and your intuition. How to do it. How to do it, or how you are doing it. The Two of Pentacles. It seems that you will be balancing a lot of things together. You will lead a pretty restless life, maybe moving from one thing to the next and then to the other. You will be always having a couple of balls in the air. You always have things to do, things to catch up on. You will, in my opinion, struggle to find the time to do everything that you want to do. Because you will find that you have a lot of interest and a lot of possibilities and a lot of things that you want to do or want to have a taste from. And that is how I see you doing whatever it is that you do. You will be using your intuition in all of these things, because once you unlock this power and you realize how strong it is and what you can do with it for yourself as well as for others, you might be helping yourself at the same time as you're helping others, which is usually the way that the High Priestess goes. The result is that you will be building on something that is bigger than you and bigger than life. You are but a tiny particle in this great expanse, and you are contributing your part to it. You may not necessarily have a very clear mission in life, but more or less just being there, and wherever you are, you will find things falling into your lap that need work, and that is your task. That is what you, by your input, by balancing all these things that you're doing at the same time, you are contributing to the bigger part, the bigger whole of all of life. And your contribution will be very valuable, and it cannot be missed. Without you, this cathedral cannot be built. So you are very needed. I hope this gives you a bit of a positive outlook in this difficult situation that you are in right now. And again, I really want to express my sincere sympathies to you and your situation, and I wish you the very, very best. Be blessed. Bye. Hi there, welcome to your reading. You chose this blue Andara and the Tarot of Dreams. So let's get into your reading. and see what your purpose is in life, why you are here. The first card, the reason why you are here, we find the Ace of Swords. The second card, where you are now, is the Two of Coins. The third card, where you are moving, is the Page of Cups. The fourth card, the obstacle or challenge, is the Knight of Swords. What you came to do is the Emperor, and how you do it is the Palace of Swords, and the outcome or the result will be the Queen of Cups. Well, first, what strikes me is that we have a lot of personal cards, a lot of cups and a lot of swords. This is about balancing feelings and intellect. I've already said in earlier videos of mine, when you feel, you cannot think clearly, and when you think, you cannot feel. That is the dynamic that I see in these cards. But let me begin. The reason why you came here is, I believe, to learn to use your intellect in a constructive way. This is about inspiration, about new ideas, about thought patterns, intellect, ideas, philosophies, things like that. And the reason why you're here is the Ace of Swords. So you're at the beginning of developing this mental clarity, these mental capacities. So you in your life, and that is what I see in this reading, are being challenged. You are a very sensitive, a very feeling person. I'll get back to that in this reading in a moment. But I want to address it right now to understand the dichotomy between these two elements, this air element and this water element that is very prominent in this reading. So you are a very feeling person, and you are being called to use your mind, your intellect, your reason, your logical thinking, structure. Structure in the sense of things are logical. Maybe you're not very organized, and that is what you need to develop in this life, and that is why you are here. Again, where you are now, we see the Two of Coins, and that to me tells me that you are balancing two things. And again, besides this pentacle, all we see is cups and swords, feelings and emotions and reason and intellect. And these two things is what you are trying to balance. This balance is a equilibrium. It is a dynamic balance. It shifts once to the emotional side, then to the intellectual side, to the emotional side, intellectual, and then it forms this lemniscate, this sign of infinity. That is a theme in your life. You may find your life a bit rocky, a bit disbalanced. Maybe you feel out of balance. Maybe you feel restless. That is all what comes with this card. And it all has to do with you balancing out feelings and emotions and mind and intellect. And again, where you are moving, the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups, again, is this feeling person, rather innocent, like a child, very inexperienced, very emotional, possibly not emotionally developed entirely. So you may have emotional outbursts. You may have strong emotions that you don't know how to handle quite adequate. So you may feel that your emotions are leading you instead of you controlling your emotions. And that doesn't mean that your emotions shouldn't be there, but there is a way of things getting out of hand as opposed to being in control and letting it be there, but being in control. And the latter is the solution. That is what you are here to learn. So that is what you're moving towards. Learning how to control your emotions while at the same time letting them be, letting them exist, but expressing them in such a way that you are in control instead of completely lost and overtaken by emotions. The obstacle or challenge is the Knight of Swords. I think the reason why you are rather emotional is because you may be rather quick withdrawing your conclusions about things or people or situations, which means that you're rushing into and to come into a state of mind, a conclusion, oh, they must be saying this because they don't like me, and bam, there you go, there the emotions are, and they're completely out of control. And that is what I feel is your challenge. So we come back to the first card, learning how to use your intellect in an adequate way. Now, this Knight of Swords is not really adequate. He's very eager, very fast, very quick, but not very adequate. He misses a lot. He usually draws too hasty conclusions. He's a little too quick with his judgments, and therefore he's off a lot of the time. So if you understand that if you take a little more time, because that is your challenge, if you take a little more time to look at things a little better, a little more thorough, and weighing all the different options, then you are given a means of controlling these emotions. At the end, what you came to do is you came to become a master of yourself. Now, usually the emperor is the leader. He's the leader of a company, a family, or a country even, whatever form of leadership. But leadership cannot be there if you cannot master yourself. You need to master yourself. You need to be a leader of yourself first, before you will ever become a leader for others. And this is what you came to do. You came here to master yourself, master your intellect. Don't rush into conclusions. Take the time to look at things thoroughly so that you control yourself and your emotions, and thus become the master of yourself. And when that happens, you automatically will become a leader for others, because you are setting an example. And that's all in all what a leader is, an example to follow. How to do it? How to do it? It is within the mental realm. This is all about how you use your intellect. Again, don't draw conclusions too quickly. Take the time to think and look at the situation from all perspectives. That is how you will become the master of yourself. That is how you will be able to control all of these strong emotions that you find difficult to control. The result is that you can be very empathic, very sensitive, but also in control of your emotions. You are no longer swept away by your emotions. When they come up, you know how to keep them inside the cup instead of them jumping out. So you will go through a very big growth during your life, and that is why you're here. And this is such a beautiful card to end with. Being sensitive and empathic, being able to feel deeply, but also being in control of yourself, being the master of your mind and the master of your feelings. This is an awesome reading. I hope this reading gave you some insights, and I wish you the very, very best. Be blessed. Bye. So, welcome to your reading. You chose this green Andara and the Ethereal Visions Tarot deck. So, let's get into your reading. Now let's start. The reason why you are here. We find the King of Pentacles. Where you are now, we find the Emperor. Where you are moving is the King of Cups. Beautiful. And the obstacle or challenge is the Ten of Wands, obviously. What you came to do is the Wheel of Fortune. This is interesting. I'll get back to it, of course, in the reading, but as I show these cards, the picture is becoming clear to me, and it's really an interesting story here. How to do it. We find the Three of Pentacles. And in the end, the outcome or the result is the Seven of Swords. Now, King of Pentacles, reason why. Reason why you're here is you are, to begin with, already highly developed. You are spiritually developed, you know how to master yourself, and you are here to master the material realm. You are here to become the King of Pentacles, the one that knows how to obtain all these pentacles and also how to distribute them to everyone who needs them. So in that regard, where you are now, the Emperor, you are well on your way. This is a very similar inner energy, although the Emperor is more linked to the King of Wands than the King of Pentacles, but still, this is the energy of a leader, of a provider, someone who's offering structure and security, the leader of a business, a company, a whatever situation, a country, or you are someone who is very determined, very strong-willed. You always know how to organize things so that everyone's needs are met. You are highly respected. People look up to you. You have a lot of power. You have a lot of control wherever you are in this life. If you are not there yet, you will be there soon. But as these cards say, where you are now, you are the Emperor. You are there. You are there. So, where you're going? That is the King of Cups. Now, we've discussed the element of earth and the fire element in the Emperor, where you are the leader. You are the one who's offering structure. You are the one who's providing. But there's one thing lacking in that, and that is what you're still are in need of developing, and that is the emotional aspect. Now, the King of Cups is someone who understands human beings, who understands feelings and emotions, who understands the human psyche, who understands the subconscious and knows how to deal with that. And that is what you are learning. This is what you're heading into. You've mastered this pentacle aspect. You are in charge, you are in control, and now you are looking to understand the human psyche better, so that you will also be able to become an advisor to people. Like, sometimes this could refer to a psychologist or a therapist in some way, but this can also just be that person that everyone goes to talk about whatever is in their hearts and their feelings and their insecurities and things like that. This is the card of insight in the human psyche and also empathy. This is a very empathic card. You know, this Emperor is very detached. He is always detached of the decisions that he makes, and that makes him slightly narcissistic. Doesn't mean that you are a narcissist, because we all have these traits, but because you have to detach your emotions in order to be able to make difficult decisions sometimes. You will need to detach yourself from these feelings, otherwise you wouldn't survive your own decisions. Now, and this is a attempt to get back in touch, get back in touch with these feelings, these emotional aspects of yourself, and possibly of the decisions that you make, so that you can be a more empathic leader. The obstacle or challenge is the 10 of Wands. This tells me that you have a lot of responsibilities. You take them on like it's nothing. It is in your character. You are this person. You are the one that is always jumping in if responsibilities need to be taken. That makes it so that it is very difficult for you to let them go as well, because the Emperor is always in control. He never lets anything out of his control. And so you're holding on to all these responsibilities that you gather in the course of your life, and you cannot put them down. And you're carrying them, and once you carry one or two of these wands, it's quite doable. When they're becoming like 6 or 7 wands, they're becoming a bit heavy. But now you're carrying 10, and the weight of these wands is so heavy that you can barely get one foot in front of the other. It is very difficult to be keeping on moving forward with this heavy load on your back or shoulders. You took it on voluntarily. You are the one who took up all these wands. And if for your own sake, your own health, you need to put some down. But this is your challenge, putting some of these wands down. That is difficult. It goes against your nature. It goes against who you are right now. You want to take on responsibilities, not delegate them. But that's exactly what you need to do. That is where your challenge lies. You really need to let some of your responsibilities go and hand them to other people who are also quite capable of carrying some of these wands. What you came to do is the Wheel of Fortune. It seems that you have a very pivotal and very important influence on the lives of the people around you. Possibly that is why you feel so responsible and why you are so inclined to understand human beings and the human psyche better. Because you realize that with all this power comes great responsibility. You are affecting people's lives profoundly. You are changing the course of the lives of the people around you. Maybe you are an employer who is keen on helping and developing your employees, and in that way helping them to become the best version of who they are. You are touching lives in a very, very pivotal way. You have the ability to completely change people's lives for the better. You have such a strong influence. You are a highly influential, very strong leader, very responsible, also very interested in the empathic and emotional and human psyche part of the existence. And how you do it? You are a leader who doesn't put himself above the others, but you are perceiving your part as just a role to play in the bigger part of life. You are very humble. This is how you are. You are humble and responsible and a leader at the same time. You see your colleagues, the people who work for you, as equal to you, and together you are building something great. You are building on something bigger than yourself. You are playing your part in this big project of building a cathedral. There is masons, there are woodworkers, there are artists and painters and glass blowers, people who make windows, people who make furniture and things like that. Everyone has their own part to play in building this enormous cathedral that is bigger than any of the professions that the people have that are working on it. Not one person could build this cathedral on its own, and you are very aware of that. And it makes you very humble. You know you are dependent on the people that you are working with. The outcome or the result is that you will be able to get things done that most people will not be able to get done. Usually this card is about shady business or questionable morale, because you can see this person carrying swords that he stole from this camp here. But he could only do that if the people in this camp weren't paying any attention. So who's to blame here? But in a more positive sense, this card is also showing that things that are unlikely to be accomplished will be accomplished. You will be able to get away with a lot. People won't hold you accountable for any mishaps on your way. You will be respected for your ability, because it also requires some tact and tactical and strategic insights to be able to get away with this, and you can. And this is not about questionable morale in this reading, because I see in this reading someone with a very high morale. You know what I mean. But this is about being able to accomplish something that rarely gets accomplished. And also being able to get it done in such a way that it is morally acceptable. You have this very important influence on the people around you, and you will be able, because of your position and because of who you are, to get things done that most people will not be able to get done. You are an extraordinary person. And I don't say this lightly. I am really, really serious. I hold you in very high regard. Now, I hope this reading gave you some insights in who you are and why you are here. And I wish you the very, very best. Be blessed. Bye. So, welcome to your reading. You chose this yellow Andara and the Zero Marchetti tarot deck. So, let's see why you are here. What is your reason for being here? The first card, the reason why you're here, we find the Ace of Pentacles. The second card, where you are now, is the Empress. Where you are moving is the Knight of Cups. Your obstacle or challenge is the Ace of Wands. What you came to do is the Queen of Cups. How to do it or how you came to do it is the Two of Cups. And the outcome or the result is the Star. This is such a beautiful reading, such beautiful energies here. The reason why you are here is you are beginning a new chapter in this material realm. To me, it seems that you are a spiritually highly evolved being, and you deliberately came to this world in order to be, and I go to the end of the reading immediately, to be a star for other people, to be a guiding light, a beacon of hope for other people. You came here to do this in a physical form. So your being in people's lives is a gift from the other realm, from you, from the all-encompassing consciousness that you and we all are part of. You have a very nurturing energy. This is where you are now. You are the Empress. You are the nurturer. You are someone who knows how to nurture things into growth. You are always enabling growth and therefore manifesting abundance. Abundance in a harvest of life. Traditionally you see a pregnant woman sitting on a stool or a throne in a field of wheat and berries and all sorts of fruits of nature. That is also depicted in this card a little different. It is also about the feminine creative aspect, that you are receiving a tiny seed and being able to create another human being out of it. This can also point to motherhood or pregnancy. So you might be pregnant, you might be a mother of a child, or it may be an aspiration of yours. You have very nurturing qualities. So you are a very good caretaker and a very good nurturer or mother. Where you are moving is the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is traditionally the card of romantic initiative. Now, later in the reading we also see the Two of Cups, so I will take this in regard as well. But there's also another aspect of this Knight of Cups, because the Knights are always the fearless ones. They are the ones that move ahead, that employ the depth of their to their element. That was the word I was looking for. So they employ the depth of their element, and so does this Knight of Cups. He employs the depth of the feelings and emotions. He goes deep. He lets himself be completely engulfed by by feelings and emotions, and he will also re-emerge out of it unshaded. So he will not lose himself or lose parts of himself in his element. So this is about someone who is very much able to go very deep into the emotions, dive extremely deep into the deep dark depths of the waters, the feelings and the emotions, but also just as easily come back to the surface and go back on land and say, wow, that was quite an experience. On the other hand, like I already hinted, this is also the card of romantic initiative. You may be a very romantic person, or you may be longing for romantic relationships. And the reason why is because they're a very important part of why you are here and how you will fulfill your soul's purpose. Because you will fulfill your soul purpose through loving relationships, being close to someone, going deep with someone, going deep into the depths of the feelings and emotions of these people in your life and these romantic interests. The thing that is a challenge for you in this is passion. Fiery passion. Also sometimes sexual energy. You may have difficulty with separating sex from love, or maybe confusing sex for love, and therefore you may put yourself into relationships that are not very beneficial to you, and make you feel less than you are. Maybe you feel used or not appreciated in some way. This is also a very fiery, passionate energy, so you may also have very strong emotional outbursts. You may be triggered to become angry easily, like having a short fuse. You can react sometimes explosively. Also, because of what I see in these cards, it is not unlikely that you have had to deal with negative sexual experiences in your past. You may have been abused, or there may have been rape in your past, or molestation, or things like that, because I see and sense an emotional dysregulation in your past. And that is your challenge. That is what this wand represents. The wand is also a phallic energy, so it also represents the male organ. So that is your challenge, this male organ. So there may have been some experiences in your life with this male organ that were not very favorable or positive for you, and have thus become a challenge. Male sexuality may be a challenge. You may fear sexual interactions. So there is a very clear obstacle, and because you are very nurturing and sensitive and not afraid to open up and share feelings and emotions with people, you might get taken advantage of quite easily, because you think it's love while it's actually just sex. So that is quite a hefty challenge. What you came to do is to get back in touch with yourself. You know how to go deep and let yourself be engulfed by things, and then you completely give yourself to whoever crosses your path. Now you will learn to become more reserved. You will be able to hold the emotions, hold space for them, give them room within yourself, but not being engulfed. You will be able to stay in touch while not go deep. You will know what is in the depths because you already been there. You don't need to go back there. You know what's there. So you can just by sticking your toe in the water, you can feel what the undercurrents are. That is this Queen of Cups. It is a mastery of the emotional aspects of yourself. You will learn to recognize the difference between sexuality and sharing romantic deep feelings with each other, and you will only need to read the surface of the water to know what's going on deep beneath the surface. It is about being sensitive to the emotional aspects. It is a very strong growth that you will be going through. But you will get there, because this is what you came to do. And how you came to do it is because of loving relationships. Equality in loving relationships. Sharing each other's feelings without pouring a cup over each other, but just offering this cup. There's a difference between this, and I hope you will sense what I mean by this, because you can just pour yourself out over someone, and then you set this dynamic in motion, which can lead to be taken advantage of. But you can also just offer someone a cup and stay in control of yourself, and also stay in control of whether you accept the cup that is offered to you. You will touch people's lives with this gift of yours through loving relationships. So I don't think it is in your sole purpose to get married or stick in one long-term relationships. I see you offering your love to many people, and I am not being judgmental about this, because this is how you can share your wisdom and change the lives of the people that you touch profoundly. And you will only be able to do that through love, because you need to touch the depths of the other person to be truly an inspirational beacon of hope for them, or a beacon of inspiration and light to them. So through your relationships, you will change people. You have to go through this rough road first of taking back the control of these emotions and understanding whenever the energies of this passion and fire is beneficial or not. And once you've been through that, you can use these nurturing qualities in your relationship. And you will change people through that. You will set them on a course to a higher purpose, a higher path, a bigger goal, a better future, a better you and a better them. You will show them, because you have mastered this. This is a very loving, deep, and very high path. It is the path of Mary Magdalene. She chose this path as well, and it is also your path. And I'm not hinting towards prostitution in no way. I am hinting to voluntarily moving into relationships where you will heal the other. Maybe you should watch the movie Sweet November. That is quite a good example of what is depicted here in this cards. It is a very fun, nice, feel-good movie with a bit of a sad undertone as well. But I could really recommend you watch that movie to understand the concept of these cards here. You yourself are a gift. With your love, you will inspire people to be the best version of who they are. Wow, very, very profound. So I really hope this gave you the insights that you were looking for, and I wish you the very, very best. Bye.